because I'm just going to share my screen, and if it ends up being valuable information, then I'll go ahead and share it with Christian, and if not, I'll just delete it. Okay, see what my screen looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, once you get your passport, okay, this is going to be your desktop. Every single day you're going to come into here, okay, and it's going to show you lots of stuff. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into optional services, and you're going to go into this KVCORE optional services, and you're going to get that set up, okay, because this can take 7 to 10 business days to turn this around. And the way Jeremy's going to be feeding you guys leads, it's going to be through this KVCORE. So while you're waiting for KVCORE to get set up, then you're going to be doing lots of just general training and stuff like that, getting familiar with the system. Do you have, and I think you said you didn't have a CRM in the past, but if you have any sort of client list, you can save it as like a Excel spreadsheet, and you can send that list to KVCORE, and it will automatically put all of that stuff into KVCORE for you if you have a list to give them. A CSV file, I guess, a CSV file. Do you have something like that?
I don't have anything. I can go through. I still have like everybody saved in my zip forms, so I could go through and pull that information. I mean, we had Chime through Maryland, but I don't know, because that was on a team, so I don't know if I could move those over to like
that's fine.
I can.
It's no big deal. At a minimum, I would in the next 7 days start working on extracting the information from zip form, because you're not going to actually be using that anymore.
Okay.
Once you come to EXP, so you want to go ahead and grab that information out. Okay. So then if I go back home, the other thing that I want you to do, and so I'll send you this video so that you can watch it afterwards. You don't have to remember everything. Is you're going to go into Skyslope. Skyslope is our transaction management software.
Okay.
So you see how it's required that I've signed in again, and I always use the same password so that I can get in. Let me. Okay. So when I get in here, okay, this is where all of your everything that you do for transactions is here. But one of the first things that you need to do is you need to go into these little place up here where it says apps, and you need to go into forms, and then you're going to have to do some sort of a setup, and it's going to prompt you to log in, and then it's going to pull all of your forms for North Carolina in here. Okay. And then the next thing you're going to do in here is you're going to go into templates, and you're going to create at least a buyer template. And with your buyer template, what I have in here is the buyer's agency. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's called the Overview of the Standard North Carolina Form. I give this 6-page, 6th grade reading about the North Carolina contract. I give this form to every single buyer, because I get a lot of people who are moving in from out of state, and they don't understand due diligence, because it's special to North Carolina, as you know, having done some stuff in Maryland, right? So I have found this overview to be a really helpful way of allowing people to keep on going back and reread it instead of asking me all the time. So the other thing I put in my template, have you done templates before with your other companies?
In Maryland, yes.
So I also do the due diligence request, additional provisions addendum, FHA. I don't do this. I have this appraisal addendum in here because I created this back in 2021. We're not really using that anymore, but that's an EXP one that you have to use. Questions and answers on home inspections, working with real estate agents, and EXP does require that you have the professional services disclosure and election form signed by every client. At the summit too. I didn't have to do this with my other company, so I just sort of fill this out with, my generic stuff about who's ordering it and who's the recommended people or who you want to use. That's how I do that. And I actually send this to them blank in the beginning because I don't know what they're going to do until right before we close. Like they might have an HVAC inspection or they might not. So I give it to them, but I don't have them sign it until right before we close. But when you create this buyer's template, you'll be able to pre-populate a lot of the just generic, you know, information so that you don't have to do that every single time.
Okay.
And that's going to be like your license number and your address and, you know, all those kind of stuff down here.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to definitely want to do that. And so that'll be a little learning curve. But first, remember, when you get there, it's going to ask you to upload your forms. Okay. So I want you to do that. And then I don't think that I really need to get into all of the logistics of how Skyslope works quite yet, except that when you go under contract, you're going to create a transaction. Okay. And then when you create a transaction, it's going to prompt you to do certain things. If I look at one of my transactions, probably easier for me to do that here. I'm going to pick one of these right here because it's going to have a referral in it. This is what it looks like. Okay. And one of the things that we have in there is a checklist. And so everything in this checklist has to be green before you can get paid. So I need to follow up with Aziza on this because this closed last week and she did not upload everything. Therefore, she has not gotten paid on this transaction yet.
Okay.
So everything has to be green in order to get paid. And then there's also a place where you can sort of talk about what the commission is and who's getting paid. So if you are, this was an Op City lead for her, so she has to say Op City, and then we're on a, this is Taylor, and then we're on a split. So this one didn't close yet, so I was mistaken. This is somebody else's. But over here, this is where you would do your split with Jeremy, right? If you were paying Jeremy. Okay.
Yeah, that's very similar to Fathom with like the IntelliAgent.
Oh, good. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of go back into this EXP Realty. This is Enterprise again, okay? So the other thing that I want you to work on, there's all these tabs, which can be really, you know, a lot, right? But I'm trying to just sort of point out the important things. In this place over here is this education calendar. And this is great. So these things are all in the world. Everything in the education calendar are classes that are in the world. And have you downloaded the world yet? Okay. So the world looks like this right here. Do you see that? Where I'm pointing? So that's what it's going to look like. And that's going to be an app. And so then these are all the, you know, classes you could go to. So you have experience, so I'm not going to have you go through this whole working with buyers and all that kind of stuff. But you could go in, for example, to this class at 11 o'clock, which is Skyslope basic training. And keep in mind that all the times in EXP University are in Pacific time. Okay. So it would be, if I do view more details on this one, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. I thought it was going to tell me, oh yeah, like down here it tells me, you know, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m., you know, Pacific. So these are really, really, really good classes. So I might even pop into the world while I have you on the phone here today, just to give you an idea of what that's like. So that's the education calendar. Okay. Down here it says workplace. I'm going to invite you to a bunch of workplace groups, but I'm going to go ahead and log into my workplace right now. Workplace looks like Facebook. You will get confused between Facebook and workplace until you really get your mojo on it. I have invited you to multiple Facebook groups, Freedom Builders, Honey Badgers, Fast Forward Movement. Fast Forward Movement is the Facebook group that houses all those videos on Monday, and they're good. okay? And they record them and they keep them there. So even though other people are invited to fast forward, we do invite other people who are not with EXP to fast forward to give them a taste of what we're doing. But in order to actually see all the old videos, you have to be with EXP and you have to be part of this fast forward Facebook group. And it can take a minute for them to, acknowledge the request that you're trying to come in. So just let me know whether or not you get in or not. But this, what I'm showing you right now, is EXP Workplace, okay? So it looks like Facebook, right?
It really does, yeah.
So basically, this is everybody with EXP worldwide is in here somewhere, okay? And then what we have are these like little groups.
Okay.
And so you will be invited to join the North Carolina State Group. Inside the North Carolina State Group, it's got the contact information of, our people, right? And stuff that's going on. Every Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning, they have a state meeting.
Okay.
I do recommend that you try your best to go to those meetings, because this is where you're going to really get to know your broker in charge. Because remember, we're cloud-based. So, there's different ways for you to get a hold of your broker in charge other than what you're used to.
Okay.
I still will probably likely be your first person to call, right?
Okay.
Hey, Linda, I got this going on. And then sometimes I'll say, hey, you need to get a hold of broker. You need to get a hold of Rhonda, right?
Yeah.
And so you have Rhonda's contact information. You can email her. You can get a hold of people via messaging through Workplace. You can also go into the world as there's an on-call broker in charge during office hours. Okay. But I'd like you to go to the state meeting, because in the state meeting, that's where you find out just things you need to know in general about what's going on in real estate in the Raleigh area, what's happening with, issues that are coming up. And they usually open it up at the last 15 minutes for questions to anybody who might have questions. And that's a good time for you to raise your hand and say, hey, I got questions. Now, if you're in the world, you can interact. You can raise your hand. You can go in the chat and ask.
Okay.
If you're not in the world and you just come to this Workplace, then it just sort of is posting here live.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have, this is a group I created called North Carolina Office Exclusive. So you can create your own groups as well. And then we have a North Carolina referral group where you can see that somebody's looking for somebody in Clayton, and then people are chiming in. I've gotten, probably 2 referrals from other agents in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So this is a good thing to keep an eye on. North Carolina events, this is, just talking to you about things like on the 1st, they're going to do a well and septic. This is going to be on site in the Briar Creek area where you can go, and it's like a lunch and learn kind of thing.
Cool.
Okay. And this is EXP kind of corporate, let's say, right? When we go to Facebook, you're going to see a lot of opportunities, and that's going to be our little Freedom Builder group, as we call it.
Okay.
So our Freedom Builder group is going to be with like sort of Tina Call as our mothership kind of thing. She was the first big agent in the Triangle area that joined EXP. And then she brought on like a Sharon Evans and Marty Hampton and Renee Hillman and April Stevens and all these other big players. And so we have a lot of really, really strong agents that are all sort of pouring into our community. For example, April Stevens today at 11 o'clock is having a class on CMA and appraisals. Okay. You can join that via Zoom to sort of just watch what's happening live. Or if you wanted to, go into the office because it's not far from you, you could go into her office, right, and participate in that class.
Okay.
So the first 6 months I was with EXP, I did not come into this Workplace at all because it wasn't what I was used to. I was really busy doing other things.
Yeah.
And it took me time to find my way back over here. But this is something that you want to check out. There's probably, like, we have I know you do the military thing. There's probably going to be some military groups, EXP military network referrals, right? So if relocation agent finder, so there's lots of military stuff. So you would probably want to just do a little searching and figure out if there's any groups that you want to join. There's also, a some referral groups called like the EXP Power Girls, and they have a meeting once a month. Some of these are not going to be like really big top producing agents necessarily, but it's going to be agents just like you, right? And so they're just sort of connecting and finding referrals. I've gotten more referrals with EXP than I've ever gotten with anybody else. And a lot of it is just making connections and getting to know people.
Cool.
I've got an agent in Asheville who I became friends with doing a mastermind. She was my partner for a week and we talked every day. And she sees things come up on Workplace and she'll just text them to me. So even if I don't find them, I have somebody else looking out for me, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's see what I got here. Okay, so now going back into enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about these Facebook and LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. That's just the EXP corporate stuff. You're going to need to, if you have a listing coming up, you are going to need to make a sign. So you have a choice. You can just make a generic sign and you can buy it from anybody. If you go into any sort of sign company, anybody who makes signs, they have the EXP logo and you can, put your picture on it and your phone number on it and call it a day. But I think that in here, let's see. Oh, this is like postcards. Let me see if this is the right place for signs.
Does EXP provide business cards, or do we have to go ahead and order those?
So in general, you are going to be a contractor and you're going to sort of pay for everything. Okay. I believe that when you onboard, EXP will give you like 1,000 business cards. But whether or not those business cards look the way you want them to look, I just ordered new business cards from Moo, MOO. Because I like that they've got some sort of fun, modern designs. And then of course you might even want to consider doing a, like a phone thing. A lot of people are doing that now too. This brand, this is not where I wanted to go. Customized material is going to be more like marketing materials. The brand store is where you can, get a name badge if you want a name badge. I like a name badge, especially for where you're at right now. I've seen people who want something more exciting. They go to Etsy and they find, a little bit more fun stuff. Let me see if I can find. Thought you could get signs through here, but you can get signs from other places too. I get mine from, who is that again? I'll tell you that. But anyway, but the point is you have a couple of choices right now. If you don't have a listing coming up till March, then I would recommend that you maybe try to come up with something a little bit clever. And maybe instead of just taking the generic EXP sign and putting your picture on it with a phone number, try to do something fun. If you go into, if I just create a new thing and I say EXP Realty sign like that, and look at images, then you can get an idea of, stuff that people are doing. So you can see you got the black and the gold. You've got, you have to use the EXP logo. And I will tell you that this right here is the new logo. Can you see that right there?
Yeah.
And this, don't do this. In fact, you should just tell me before you do anything. Let me look at what you're doing. Don't do this. That's the old logo. So, but you can do whatever. You don't have to follow these colors. You can do, anything you want, but there are some guidelines. Like mine doesn't look anything like this. A lot of these are looking very similar, but like even Sharon Evans is a little bit different. Anyway, so we'll look about that later, but be thinking about how you want to brand yourself. I
know that I can actually even put a sign out at this listing because it's in Carolina Trace. I have to look up what the HOA rules are, but
gosh,
I mean, still good to start thinking about the sign too. But
I've sold out there, and I thought that there were signs. I mean, you can get a sign really quick. So if you didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden you had a listing, you could legit go somewhere. There's a local place called Fast Signs where you could have a sign in, 2 days, as long as you're just picking up some sort of generic stuff. Okay, so going back into enterprise, you're going to go underneath something called My Business. Okay. And then you're going to go into My Expert Profile. And so in this section, this is something I want you to do in the first couple of weeks. You're going to upload your picture. You're going to put some sort of a biography down here. And remember, you probably don't want to copy exactly what you did before, but you want to expand on that, because probably what you had before was as a newer agent, but now that you've sold a lot of houses, you can sort of talk about your business and that you've sold. You definitely want to talk about, you know, working with military families and relocation and being dual affiliated and stuff like that, because other EXP agents will look at this. Sometimes if they don't go into the referral thing where they just ask for a referral, sometimes they'll actually come in here. And this is what I do. I actually come in and look at the agent directory, and I first see who has uploaded a picture and who has uploaded a biography. Because to me, people who have taken that step, there's a lot of people out there who don't have a picture. There's a lot of people who are up there who have a picture but no biography. And to me, it's like, if they haven't taken the time to do this, maybe they're not, you know, the person that I want, right? I want somebody who's on their game when I'm referring business, because I want to make sure that if I refer somebody, that that person's going to get the business.
Okay.
And that my client's not going to shop for something else. Down here, you can also create your zip codes. It's going to default to your existing zip code, but you can add additional stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm just going to show you what my KVCORE looks like. So once you get your KVCORE up and running, it's going to look like this.
Okay.
So I should look. So this Alex Hibschman, he just contacted. I have an appointment with him at 5 o'clock. He got my name from somebody else. And so we have a Zoom tonight. What I find really interesting about this is I can, like, Chelsea Nilsson. I mean, she's my client. She's not telling me she's interested in looking at houses, but because she's in my database, somehow KVCORE can tell that she's looking at stuff. And once somebody looks at one thing, KVCORE is like, oh, you like that? Well, how about this? Well, how about that? Well, how about, so then they start sending them more stuff that sort of encourages engagement.
Cool.
Okay. So this is what this looks like, and I don't want to bog you down with too much stuff right now, but the big things that I want you to do is go into optional services, set up your KVCORE, right? Go into Skyslope, get your forms, and work your way through creating a template.
Yep. Okay.
Right. And then going into My Business, My Expert Profile, setting up your expert profile.
Yep.
And then, of course, name tag, business cards, and sign branding in case you get something going on. Start thinking about that. And then just overall online presence, like I talked about last night, which is to get your LinkedIn set up.
I did do my LinkedIn. I haven't switched Facebook yet, because, well, one thing I wanted to ask you is, I have been so, like, inactive on Facebook, and, like, the people that are on there, like, I don't think even engage anyways. Like, would it be better to kind of, like, start fresh, or try to, like, rebuild that one?
Let me see what you got.
Because it's just like, I mean, I haven't posted probably since I lived in North Carolina before.
Okay, so this is your regular.
That's just my regular Facebook.
Too?
Yeah, that's just my regular Facebook. But then I have, like, my business.
Your Fathom.
Yeah.
Okay. You should definitely keep this.
Okay.
And expand, because you've got 1,000 people in this right now.
Okay.
I don't even have 1,000 people in mine. So you've got these 1,000 people. I don't care if they're, you know, engaging or not. Right. So if I were you, I would probably upload some sort of a banner that really screams EXP. Okay. Change this down here to EXP. And then what I do And I don't know how you're getting all the people in here, but you know how to invite people to like your page.
Yeah.
So then I would just start rekindling, the people liking your page. Okay.
Okay.
And then I would just really start. In fact, before you even do that, I would just February 2002. So you got a new picture. That's good. Sort of.
That was
Yeah.
all I've really done.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky, but I do recommend that you put some stuff up. If I go to mine real quick, so this is my page right here, and I accidentally see this is my salad. I didn't even realize I was putting that on my business page. But it's actually working out good because I've done that before. I went to this right here. So my default when I'm doing a Facebook and I share it to my page is going to my business page, and it actually helps my business page get some engagement that it wouldn't ordinarily get. So even though my intent is to keep my business,
right.
I think it actually is working out. So I was just going to tell you that something like this.
Now, how often do you post? Like once a day, or like is there like a happy like sweet spot for like posting?
I recommend that you do some sort of social media every day.
Okay.
I know that sucks, especially if it's not your jam.
Yeah.
But I challenge you to try to do something every day. And it could be something like this, right? Like Raleigh's the 4th best place to live. And you'll notice I'm not doing it every day, but I don't have to do it as much as somebody who's trying to build their business, right? So I do that, but then like this is my new listing in Lockmere. So when I get a new listing, you guys get to market it, right? So, and when you market it, so right now I have it marketing from here, but when you market it and they click on that same link, oh, that's the other thing. Once you get your KVCORE, you'll be able to set up your website that comes for free, right? It's going to be branded with Taylor Tip Tack down here. So it doesn't look like my listing. It ends up looking like your listing.
Okay.
So I definitely want you guys to really be, working that, because the busier you look, the more the people around you are going to surface.
Okay.
And so that's what I have found with, what's that?
Sorry. I was gonna say, like, do you suggest like maybe I do like a post today or whatever, and like, do like EXP and like be like, just like life update, like back in North Carolina, made big changes over to EXP, like active, that kind of like something like that.
I do recommend that you do that. And I think that where I would actually do that post would be on your personal page.
Okay.
So instead of on your business page, I would just change everything on your business page.
Okay.
But at first I would go to your personal page where your friends and your family, the people who are close to you, and just talk about how, you're super excited to be back in North Carolina, that you've been looking for, a new, real estate home kind of thing. And that you partnered with me, so tag me. If you're not friends with Jeremy, tag Jeremy. And that, and so you can sort of, tag these people and just say, well, partnered with, whatever, and I'm looking forward to, growing my business and helping my friends and family with their real estate needs. What we find is that if you don't ask, people always think you're too busy for them. They know you've got this entourage of children, right? And that you're busy.
Yeah.
So sometimes people just won't ask you for help. They don't know that you want their business.
Yeah.
So to me, I just like, if you look at my personal page, I have this, I have my personal, a lot of personal, this is business, right? This is me talking about my EXP group. And then I'm out with my mom and I'm talking about my parents and my kids. And then there'll be something down here. So this was where I created a Facebook group for my all my clients. And that's something I learned in one of the masterminds. So this is sort of business. Okay. This is something that I'll do. So I'm a top producer. In fact, I'm going to be featured in the magazine on Friday or on February.
Awesome.
But when they have events, I'm allowed to bring 10 people. So I sort of throw it out to my group. In this picture over here is part of my downline, right? So Ellen is on my team. Tanya is not on my team. She's a solo agent like you're going to be.
Okay.
Maya's on my team. Catherine's a solo agent like you. Isabel's a solo agent like you. You know, Melody's a solo agent like you. But I mentor all of these people, right? And they mentor me a little bit too, quite frankly. And then I include them. So whereas they wouldn't necessarily be invited to the Real Producer, event, I bring them there as a photo opportunity, because the more their sphere sees them out, the more likely your sphere is going to be to trust you. So when Taylor Zundell, who is on my team, started as a brand new agent, okay? And she's got a gazillion people following her just like you, yet, these people have moved to different places. They're not necessarily in town. She hasn't really been connected with them. And so what we did is we sort of built her up, right? By using my stuff as leverage. And now her people are starting to come out. Okay. So yeah, anybody that is still in town, it's a good idea to, reconnect with them. And to me, your social life, you should be doing things that you enjoy doing. But maybe if you're not doing anything with real estate, it's always a good idea to meet a friend for coffee, get a group of ladies together for lunch, those little things. Because even though you're not going to talk about real estate, they're going to ask you about real estate, because everybody's interested in real estate. I joined a book club because I want to read more. And so yesterday was my first book club meeting. And literally, I had to get the lady to stop talking to me about real estate. But by the time I left, because I don't want to bore everybody else by dominating the conversation on real estate. At the same time, because it only takes, a 30-second conversation about real estate. That's like sending out a bunch of postcards, right?
Right.
Because now that girl has let everybody know, and there was only 6 of us, know that I'm her trusted real estate advisor.
Right.
The next thing you know, this person's telling me about their neighborhood. This person's telling me about their neighborhood. And then I'm the one who has to sort of reel back in and get the conversation back to the book, right? But that message is there.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So when you take your girlfriends and you guys go out to lunch and you reconnect with the ladies on the base or whatever it is, that they're going to ask how you're doing, whatever. You're going to mention that you're on real estate, you're super excited, you're doing all this new stuff, whatever. And then you're going to turn the conversation back around and make sure that you tap into what they are talking about.
Okay. Then
if they're your friends on Facebook, then they're going to be getting these little messages every once in a while about how busy you are. And then you become their resource.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So moving back into here. Let's see. I like to go back over here. Let's see. EXP is going to charge you $85 a month. They're going to send you an invoice ahead of time, and then they're going to telling you that a bill's coming out, and then they're going to send you a bill. And I think I just have mine set up to automatically draft in here. Okay. Another option that you get is and this might not be something as a newer agent, the stock. Did you say yes or no on stock?
I believe I said yes.
Okay. So when you do stock, you're going to need to, as soon as you sell a house, regardless of whether you said yes or no, as soon as you sell a house, EXP is going to give you some stock. And it does have to vest. You don't get to cash it tomorrow. But this is what this looks like in here. So you're going to have to go in, and then there'll be some sort of a document or a message or something like that. And you're going to have to go in there, and you're going to have to say that you want the stock. And I don't know why they do it like that, but that's how they do it. So you're going to have to say that you want the stock, and then it comes in here. So when you look in here, this right here, let me see, this EXP right here, EXP agent equity. That's when I buy. So basically they take 5% out of every commission check I get.
Mhm.
And then at some point in that month, they go and they buy stock and they give me a 10% discount.
Okay.
So it's really good to be doing it right now because stock is low. That's
Right.
when you want to buy, right? I mean, I bought a lot of stock at $30 a share.
Right.
So now it's, $11.99 there, and you can't just go buy it for 10% discount. You can only use 5% of every commission check. That's it.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And then you have these awards, right? Which would be these down here. So this is unavailable. And so I get stock when somebody I sponsor sells a house.
Okay.
Now you're not me, you're with Jeremy, but when you sell a house, Jeremy's going to get like $300 in stock and you're
Okay.
going to get like $300 in stock. So it's
Okay.
kind of a cool little, it's a nice little perk. So I'm glad you
Right.
said yes to that. A lot of agents who are, newer maybe don't necessarily say yes, but to me, you won't miss it and you'll just get used to having it.
Is there a
Okay?
way for me to go in that tab? Can I go and check and make sure I did and then switch it if it's not? I mean, because
I don't know if you can do it in that tab or not.
Okay.
I would say once we get a house under contract,
Then check.
then
Yeah.
let's remember to go back and double check because you've got a lot of stuff that you're going to be rifling through right now. So I would do that. So
Okay.
one other thing I wanted to show you is once you get something under contract, right? You've done everything in Skyslope. Then you'll come into this transaction overview. And in the transaction overview is where you can see where you're getting paid and you can see whether or not they're taking out stock. In fact, I'm not going to show you this right now because I think that this is actually starting to get too deep. I don't want to overwhelm you.
Go like right over, like it'll be one of those things where I probably will have to ask you again.
Right. Oh no, you will. You will. I'm going to let you have this video and I'll send this to Christian as well so that you guys have something to sort of watch. There's a gazillion other things for training. But I definitely want you to text me anytime you have any question at all.
Okay.
Right. And I will probably just, if I'm not doing anything, I'll call you and say what's going on because sometimes it's easier just to talk it through.
Yeah.
But the main thing is just sort of getting yourself up to snuff here. You guys with Longleaf, you guys can sell, you can access, you can show anything in
the triangle, yeah.
In the triangle.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because when you click on the in that email with like the MLS and you scroll down and it'll say like join triangle or whatever, and there's like a notice that says like if you're part of Longleaf, like you're already have access to everything. I don't remember the exact words, but it was like in red. So I was like, well, okay. I just wanted to make sure because like if you guys are with Triangle that it didn't matter if we were with Longleaf.
Right. Yeah, we'll just have to work that through and see, right?
Yeah.
I actually, just so you know, I am in regional MLS as well.
Okay.
So here's what happened. Are you with JCAR? Is that what you're with?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're with JCAR, which I'm with JCAR as well too, I used to be with Raleigh, but then EXP told me that if I joined JCAR, then I could have TMLS and I could have regional MLS without joining another association and paying that extra $600 a year. So I switched from Raleigh because I wasn't doing much with the association anyway to JCAR. And so now I have my Triangle MLS, which was my primary, but then I have regional MLS, which does not include Fayetteville, but includes everything east of the beach.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind because even I share that information, that logon information, so people can go in and do research and, set people up on searches and find documents and everything, which I know I'm not supposed to do, but nobody is making appointments through my stuff. Right. They're just getting the information. Yeah. And since I'm not making appointments through it either, I'm just getting information. I do share that information. So this group right here that says EXP Realty with the purple space behind it, this is my group. Okay. So this is everybody who's joined EXP with me or joined with somebody who is underneath me. Okay. And this is my lunch groups. Every quarter, I take everybody out to lunch. I pay for it, get everybody to sort of connect so that they feel like, you know, even though we're cloud-based, they feel like they know somebody other than me. Right. So that's what I do here. And then what I try to do is I try to put it in, and Maya is my assistant, but she's also a buyer's agent.
Okay.
So EXP had some changes, and so I asked her to put it up in there. If I think something's good, I'm going to put it in here. If I think that like this relocation certificate that some people might want, I'm going to put that in there so that make sure that people see it, because I know I'm going to workplace more and I'm looking at all these different places to find stuff that's going on. Right. So if I think it's really good, I'm going to put it in here because you're going to find that there's so much information all over the place. You're not going to know where to start.
Yeah.
So I would come here first.
Okay.
This Facebook ads group is, you know, Taylor and I sat through a Facebook ads paid lead kind of thing that was very successful. Yesterday I did, you know, just like a little outing to look at, you know, some houses with brand new agents. You probably don't need that.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
What's that?
I did see that
Yeah.
you.
So that was literally one of the agents' very first times going out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for when you're showing a house. You're looking for trouble while they're looking at pretty.
Right.
Then there's a gala coming up in February. Op City sign up. So you definitely want to go in here. And you want to re-sign up with Op City because now your relationship is going to be with EXP, not Fathom or Summit. Okay.
So I was never signed up with Op City. So is there something else I have to do, or if I click on that, I'll be able to?
If you click on this form, you'll fill out this form, and then EXP will send it to Op City, and then you'll get an email from Op City saying you're approved for Op City.
Okay.
And I would definitely, you know, get started on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I invited you to Charity's classes A to Z.
Okay.
And Charity is just an EXP agent that's, you know, in our Freedom Builder group, but not necessarily, you know, she's directly under Tina, and she's created this boot camp. She's only been in the business for a few years, but she is in project management in her history. And you will see once you sit in and watch her stuff that she is the most insanely detailed oriented person ever. If you go in like working with sellers, listing presentation, I mean, you can just pop into these classes and she's got them recorded and uploaded to that website. If there's anything of interest that you want to see. Okay. You know, it says bookmark this to your favorites. That's the thing that was in that that black block that you had that talks about, this is all North Carolina.
Okay.
Talks about their work pay groups, getting paid, lots of stuff. Cool. Okay, so then I do want to do one other thing for you, which is go in the world. So again, when you create your world, you're going to create an avatar. Okay. And then this is where all the classes are, but this is also where you can reach accounts payable, a broker in charge, you know, who's on, you know, having office hours or whatever. So I do not come in the world very often. I come in the world if I'm going to do a class, and then I come in the world if I got a problem.
Okay.
Or I come in the world to show somebody like you how it works. It does take a minute for it to upload. Once you've downloaded it to your PC, can you download it? Then it does take a minute for it to come up.
Okay.
But it's really kind of cool. So I'm going to show you something real quick with this. So that at least it's familiar to you the first time you go in and play with it. Okay. So it's going to have me log in with Passport. Okay. And that's going to be my same.
It's still showing your EXP downline page.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, let's do escape. Okay. I think it's thinking about it. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the world. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so basically these are all the people who are in the world right now, and everybody has like a little avatar.
Okay.
So here's my thing. I can go in here and I can change my avatar, and this is what I look like here. Okay.
Cool.
So so now, well, let me see what it's going to do now. Okay, so I'm back in here. So then you just go up to this go to, and you can go to the main auditorium. You can go to onboarding and agent support.
Okay.
Okay, so in fact, I think I'll do that real quick. So we've got some self-help. I'm going to go into the lobby. Now, if you notice, my mic is off right here, which means nobody in the world can hear me. So if I want to talk to somebody, I need to talk to them. I need to turn on my mic.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so then I'm going to walk over here. And it says, please take a ticket. And it says they are on until 11 o'clock for onboarding. Okay, so I'm going to take a ticket.
Good morning, Linda.
Hey there, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you today?
I'm good. I've got an agent that has just onboarded yesterday, and I'm giving her a tour. So say hi to Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Hello.
So where we're at right now is it looks like everything's done except for she hasn't gotten her passport login.
What is the agent's full name?
Taylor, I'll type it in here so you can see it. So I'm going to type in the chat.
Thank you. Okay. I can see why. I see that he actually went active with us today. So I would imagine that sometime today or within the next 24 hours, she's going to receive a series of emails with all that info. The first one, or the one to look for is, and she can check her inbox and her is going to say, welcome to EXP Real. Just like that. Welcome to. In that email, he's going to get her email address, and she'll be able to create a password for her passport account. Which, by the way, it's going to be the same password created with her guest pass.
Okay.
Just for future reference.
Has she?
But yeah, I would go ahead.
Has she created a guest pass already for EXP World?
Yeah, she had to create a guest pass to be able to complete the application.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that was part of the problem. And if she goes active, which she just went active today.
Okay.
She'll get the email regarding the passport account, which again, as you know, is her EXP Realty email and whatever password created with her guest pass. And I would imagine that she's going to get that email or those emails, right? Because the first one is going to say, "Oh, the EXP Realty." It's going to give you the email address. You're going to create the password or use this rather, and then of course She's gonna get an email about Scott. You're gonna get an email about Ring Central. You know, all the things that she'll need to look into once she goes active.
Perfect. Well, that's exactly what we thought. But I figured since I was trying to give her a little idea of what this world sort of felt like in talking to people, right? That I would just go ahead and pop in and ask you. So I appreciate your help.
Anytime, Linda, and welcome, Taylor. Welcome to EXP.
Thank you.
Okay. So now I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go into the broker stateroom. So I just clicked on go to broker. Where did I say? It wasn't broker operations. It's a stateroom. So, and then you go into North Carolina. And when I go into North Carolina, just so you know, so I could come in and I could, you know, ask them about compliance and contracts over there, or I could just ask general brokerage questions. But can you see the screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to know, though, is that these meetings are at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock. You can come into the world. You come into the North Carolina State Room. And then on the side over here, there's something that says North Carolina State Auditorium. Whoops, sorry. Okay, auditorium, which is right here. Okay, so it's telling me, I got to get out of the way so that I can read this. It's telling me that the best practices is on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. The North Carolina State meeting is on Thursday at 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to click this door.
Can't touch this.
So right now is Wednesday at 9. So the Wednesday meeting at 9 is over already.
Okay.
Great day, everyone.
There you go. So it just ended. But you get a little gist on how to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so oops. Okay. So looking my best today.
I'm like, and it's always weird when I'm on Zoom because my laptop, the screen is shattered. So I project to a monitor. So like when I'm looking at the monitor, but the camera is over here. So I'm like always looking a funky way.
Well, and I'm always looking down. My camera's actually right there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at you. So I'm always looking down. Okay. So do you feel like you have a reasonable something to get you started?
Yes. I don't feel like I'm so like, all right, what's next? So
Right.
I'm going to watch out for that email, get in there, started with, you know, passport, KVCORE, all that. And then I'm going to tackle social media after that.
Yeah.
And then the only other question I had for you is regarding my Maryland license.
Mhm.
Should I, because they had me put it in on when I was filling out the application and I got the email, should I be affiliated with EXP with that license, or should I just leave it? Because I'm not part of GCAR anymore and I'm not part of their MLS, but I'll keep up with the CE and like the annual license fee.
I probably would not. Okay. Because if you're going to affiliate it, then you're going to pay association, MLS, and you're not going to use it.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know if you could just like put it there and not be a part of those, or if it was there, you had to be.
well, I'm not 100% sure about the fact that you've already said it's there. So that's going to be a Carrie question, probably, who's your onboarding person, and just say, hey, listen, when I was filling it out, this is what, and you're going to mentor the mentorship too in that same email to her. Once you hear back to her from her about the passport, just say, oh, by the way, I put that I needed a mentor, but I know that I do not need a mentor now.
Okay.
So can we please get that removed? And she'll probably say yes. And then just say, I've got this license in Maryland. I don't want to pay association and MLS because I'm not going to be working it.
Okay.
Right. I do want to keep it active. Right. I let you know about it because I thought I should let you know about it, but I'm not planning to activate that. And it should have asked you when you were doing that, which association you wanted to join and all that. And if you said yes on that.
I didn't. I just
Okay,
put long leaf.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's, that's fine. So like when I joined here, I could have said I wanted to be at the mountains and I wanted to be at the beach, and they would have just made all of that stuff happen for me if I clicked all that.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely continue your CE, pay your annual, whatever it takes to keep your license active. Don't lose that license
Right.
because, it's yours forever, and it's a minimal amount of expense to keep that active.
Right. I'd
Even if
rather-
you never end out there, like if you end up being some powerhouse real estate agent in the next 10 years, you could conceivably start a team in
Right.
Maryland, and you've already got that in place.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So just text me if you have any questions, email me anytime. I don't even care if you email me 10 times a day, just whatever it takes to make you feel comfortable that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And then once we get that KVCORE set up, then we'll start working on getting you guys in with Jeremy to sort of talk about what he's going to do.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I've got a lot to work on with this, so it'll probably take me like a day or two.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll just kind of go from there.
Yep, definitely. I'm expecting that you're probably going to be needing to talk to me again sometime, probably next week for sure.
Yeah.
Unless you just tackle through a lot of this stuff really quickly.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
cool. I'll chat with you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.